Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Apologize if we've been off the air for a little bit. Fortunately, and you could probably hear it in my voice, I still have it. I caught a nasty virus and I've been in bed for, oh my God, more than a week. And basically, I still have no energy. But I decided to try to do this today. I seem to be a little bit more stronger today. See how it goes. I got my good old little bit of glass of orange juice next to me. I just had a nice cup of soup to get me through this. And hopefully, we'll get through this and all. First of all, uh, thanks for those who have subscribed. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thanks for coming on board. Very important. We're learning more and more every day where YouTube is censoring us. We're learning that every day, and they're trying to hide that from us. So, very important. Pass this on. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody. If you like the show, or if you like any other show that's on YouTube, let them know as well. Click on for support. Support them. Support everyone on there, because basically, hey, we're not the corporations. We're the little guys. We're trying to bring you a good show day in and day out. First of all, happy Halloween to everyone out there. It's the 31st of October. Man, the end of the year is 2 months away. Oh, man. 2020 is around the corner. And there's so much going on. And we try to bring at least some things that maybe you've heard of, maybe you've not. And, excuse me, sorry. Like I said, it's been a bit of a contest with my illness. So basically, sometimes you'll hear me move a little bit. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on. This one's going to be a little bit longer than normal because I just want to catch us up on a couple things. Now, one major thing that's going around. Looks like we lost another prequel to the Game of Thrones showrunners. The one that I think is with Naomi Watts. Yeah, Naomi Watts has been canceled. And I think this one has already been shot. And it's, I don't know if it was called Age of Heroes or what was it called on there. But basically, it was supposed to deal with the issues of the, race and power again, I guess. They were going to go through that. And I guess they decided not to go with this. Am I surprised on this? No, I am not surprised that this was going to happen. HBO, there's so many changes going on in HBO. And, we have HBO Max, which we'll be discussing next in a moment. Some acquisitions they have received. How can I say it? Basically, some of the programming, it's just like they're looking for their niche. But see, the thing is, they understand is that they're putting up shows that are just totally insane at some points. I mean, like I said, they're pulling all the Game of Thrones. I think there's only 3 left, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, of what's left of the Game of Thrones prequel series. I think that's what's left on there. I think another one is. Oh, yes, that's right. It's the children of the night. Yeah, that's my sensor alarm, folks. You're going to hear that probably every once in a while. I tried to shut it down, but unfortunately, it won't shut down for some weird reason. Can't figure it out. But like I was saying, HBO, they're losing themselves. And Warner Brothers is part of the system, and basically, that the changes that are being made, and some are improvements, some are just disappointments. I mean, the Watchmen TV series alone is just, it's horrible. It's really vile, especially what they've done to some of the characters in the series. I mean, Rorschach, turning his character base level, to make him like that. He was racist, and technically he's the hero of the movie in one way or another, or the original novel in one way or another, because he was going to stand up against. And sorry, not to give. If you haven't seen the original movie or the comic, he was going to stand up against Osmoniac, and when you see this, and you're like, he gives his life for that, and you have to say to yourself, look what they've done to him afterwards. See, what I would expect it if they were going to do it. Continue with Rorschach ideas, it would be, I think, would be toward the perspective of sort of like conspiracy theories and UFOs and stuff like that. I would be more toward what I would expect. But I digress. We'll move on a little bit. But seeing Game of Thrones, another part of this, honestly, I don't think we're going to get a Game of Thrones prequel series. I think they're just going to scrap the whole season. I mean, scrap all the movies and stuff like that. Because basically, it's done. It's a done deal. I don't think anybody wants to really watch a prequel series. Do you really now? Honestly, after everything that's done. People are still disappointed with the last season on there. But moving on. Now, we talked about HBO. HBO Max, on the other hand, that's going to be out next year. The streaming wars is ramping up heavily. Next month, Disney and Apple go full stream on that. And there's a lot coming on there. Now, what I've heard, and and you can confirm this. This is out. 2 series are confirmed that they will be going to HBO Max. We already know that the Boondocks, that Adult Swim will not. There's a possibility they won't get the new Boondocks series. It's supposed to go to HBO Max. I don't know if it's up in the air. John Witherspoon has just passed away recently in the last 24 hours, I think 24, 48 hours. Yeah. I don't know if they've approached him to do the Grandfather Rose. I know they wanted to make a lot of changes with the season 4 series. They want to make changes. And I know some other people were not available for the TV series. And also Charlie Murphy also passed away as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But the other half is South Park and Rick and Morty will be joining Boondocks on HBO Max. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean Comedy Central loses South Park completely? Does Adult Swim is losing Rick and Morty completely? No. What HBO Max will be getting is, right now, South Park is on Hulu. I would assume that Warner will pull all the episodes from Hulu. That's about, over 300 episodes. Oh, it's a lot of episodes on that one. And what is going to happen is, I think they're still going to make new episodes. New episodes will probably air on Comedy Central, and then we'll kick on HBO Max, or vice versa, one or the other. Now, the Rick and Morty issue is those contracts have been signed. And, like, same thing with South Park. They got a 3-year extension on South Park. Rick and Morty's got a 70 episode order, which that's going to take a couple of years to play out, or they may do it all at one time, which I know the first season that's coming up now is only going to be about 5-6 episodes. Very short. But then again, we can't trust that. Like I said, you will see new episodes of South Park. You will see new episodes of Rick and Morty on their networks. Their older episodes will only be shown on HBO Max. I said a while back, it's possibilities could be the end of the Adult Swim app, because we're hearing the rumors that Crunchyroll may be next on the chopping block on there, and it'll be a shame to lose Adult Swim, but then why give it free when you could charge people? You own the network, and that's the mentality. I could be wrong. I totally could be wrong, but it is a possibility. It is a masterful possibility that this will happen. And as I sit back and relax in this sofa, fantastic sofa as I sit back on now. I just switched seats right now. It stopped raining too. Oh, fantastic. At least the trick-or-treaters will get out. The streaming wars are going to be very unusual. Now, a lot of people are putting Netflix out of contention, and I'm telling you right now, don't let them do that. They're like, because they're giving so much this, that, and the other thing. Here is the major difference between Netflix and everybody else. Netflix has, and I've said this before, their servers, they've been running for quite some time. They've gone through the bugs. They've gone through the points where the problems that they've had before, they have resolved. Now you have these new sites. They're probably going to go through some of these problems. So kickoff day may not be the greatest kickoff day. You saw what happened to Shudder when they put Joe Bob Briggs on the air live. You literally had Shudders shut down. Shudder was shuttered. That's pretty funny. Basically, you look toward, how these servers are going to do, how they're going to handle the customers, payment cycles and stuff like that, how the systems are going to handle the amount of usage coming inward into their systems, and basically how to get these videos properly out to them, whether it's in 4K, whether it's in 1080p, and that's going to be the challenge. And most of these guys says, "Oh, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine." No, I'm going to be waiting. Going to be wait and see. And like I said, Netflix has been doing this for some time, and I hear all these guys on the money shows and stuff like that, and it says, Netflix, they're charging more, and they're charging this. You're right, but they're trying to create their own program. They're losing programming because the companies that own a lot of these shows, they're taking it to put it on their sites. So basically, they certain things they can't get anymore. They made a deal. What was it? They made a deal with one of the big shows they're going to be getting on Netflix directly, one of the sitcoms, and because Friends left, so they're getting a replacement, and they made a major deal on that. And You got day in, day out. A lot of this goes on, and you kind of expect it. When they're chastising Netflix for what it is. You know, they got to go out and create their own programming, and some of it's been successful and some of it hasn't. Some people complain. They're like, "Oh, why'd you take this one off or that one off?" Well, they don't release ratings, but they know what they're. It looks like they know what they're doing on that. I've been upset on a couple of things they removed, but hey, things get canceled. That's what happens. In fact, I just watched the Dolomite movie with Eddie Murphy. That was pretty good. If anybody want to watch a great tale of a man who's called the Godfather of Rap, it's Rudy Ray Moore. The story of Rudy Ray Moore. Now, and going over that. You have to understand, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because when Hollywood makes these days, when they make sort of not called a documentary, the history of certain people, movies about certain people, you have to take it with a grain of salt, and I'll tell you why. A lot of the times, things are hyped up a little bit, things are taken, changed around, things are added, mushed together, stuff like that. But in the case of Dolomite, oh my God, just they take it to heights. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's he's supposed to be shooting the movie, the Dolomite movie in this. They show it on there, but actually some of the scenes, and you'll be like, wait a minute, I don't remember. For those of you who've seen the Dolomite movie, it's like I've never seen that in the movie. What they did was they took segments of Human Tornado and shot it and made it look like it was part of the movie, but it's not. It's not part of the movie. It's actually, they did Dolomite and Human Tornado at the same time, and just made it look like it was the first movie. Oh, excuse me. As you can see, my cough. Ugh. But let's get over. It's Halloween. It's the witches and werewolves all come out tonight to play. All these kids are going around. In fact, thank you. School bus went right on by. Kids are coming out already, and they're going to be starting knocking on the door, candy in hand, and say, "Here." But one thing I noticed this year, they've eased back on the type of horror films they've put out. I mean, there are a lot of channels doing it. And one good thing is that I love the Vincent Price stuff. I saw, what was it? I saw Comedy of Terrors. What was the other one? The Raven. Which I never saw The Raven, and I enjoyed that thoroughly. Twice Told Tales, some of the others on there. Of course, is it House on Haunted Hill? Just on my screen right now, I got Silence of the Lambs playing in the background on there, but you won't hear the audio on there. It's like, Zane, pay the audio. No, can't do it. Sorry. Probably get flagged for that if I did. But I, like I said, I noticed some of the way they're doing it. I mean, they're doing like what was it? They had a Stephen King night. They had a Halloween night. They had a Friday the 13th night. One BBC Network did an Aliens night. But one thing I noticed is that they don't really go out and get the classics out. There's some great stuff. Oh yeah, Joe Bob Briggs had a great. He had a special. It's on Shudder on last Friday. And he did Halloween, the original Halloween 4 and 5 together, which he says Halloween the original and 4 were the best ones on there, and one of the stars from Halloween 3, Tom Atkins called up, I guess, on live there, and it says, play Season of the Witch, or I'll come over there and kick your butt. Which, he didn't play Seasons of the Witch. That's one thing, and most people don't understand, and they say, oh, it's just a horrible movie. It has nothing to do with the original Halloween. The original thought of Halloween was that it was supposed to be an anthology series. And that's what they wanted to make it as. To do, basically, each Halloween they would come out with another movie with a tale of Halloween. When, they did the sequel to Halloween, the second one, and they did well. It did okay in the box office and stuff like that. Then they wanted to start going off, and they did the Season of the Witch, which that was pretty good. The ruins in the masks, and the kids putting on the masks, and they're trying to destroy the world. That was a good concept, using witchcraft and stuff like that. And people just really knocked it. And it was like, wow, really? I mean, I even knocked it years ago. And then I go back and I sit back on it about 10 years ago. Ooh, excuse me. And I looked at it and I said, something, this is I didn't really pay attention. It is a damn good movie. And I didn't expect it to be like this. Well, why don't you know? Get totally interrupted by battery power loss on this portable. I've been using it so much lately. I burned through the batteries. But as we were continuing, we were talking about the Season of the Witch. Like I said, we saw it a while back, and again, and it was better than I was thinking of it. For the reason is, I didn't take it as a Halloween movie. From a Michael Myers perspective, I took it about an individual movie in itself, and I think that's what you should always look at it when you watch that movie. Think of it as a creep show. Oh, and by the way, folks, tonight's the last. If you haven't gotten Shudder. Today's the last night for the last episode of the season, so you can be able to watch all 6 episodes, which is available on Shudder. I'm not an advertiser for Shudder, but if they want to throw a couple bucks my way, I do talk about them a lot. Hey guys, AMC, contact me. You're a good site. And also, Joe Bob Briggs is supposed to be coming back with a new season 2 of The Last Drive-In. That was announced as well, so we'll be getting to see him again very, very soon. The other half, it's like I said, I saw the Vincent Price stuff, The Haunting, great on there, but they have to start digging out some of the old flicks. People anticipating this Blumhouse movie, Black Christmas. And they say, oh, that looks good. It looks good. Guys, avoid it. I'm going to tell you straight down the line. Looking at it, it is so woke. And you could tell by the trailer. If you've never seen Black Christmas, understand this. If you've never seen Black Christmas, you never, and I repeat, never know who the killer is. Even by the end of the movie. And that was what it made good. I mean, Margot Kidder is in there and a couple other actresses. And it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it is a good movie. It's from a time period, right before Halloween. Some elements you could say that other horror films have ripped off, but generally everybody rips everybody else off, and that's generally with the slasher films. If you go back, I think I think it's in Europe. It was the really truly first slasher movie. I think it was. I have to. I think Joe Bob Briggs mentions it one time. I have to look back on his history and grab that segment when he talks about it. But you know, movies like that, Black Christmas, catch the original. I know, what is it? Amazon Prime has it, and you can see it there. I mean, it's a great movie. And there are plenty of other movies, and I didn't see this year. You know, it's like they had Them was on at one point, and I haven't seen it since then. Again, normally they repeat some of these movies. The Thing from Another World with James Arness. I love that movie on there. I mean, okay, you guys out there, I know you love special effects. But basically, go back and go watch the James Arness version of The Thing. And it is a great concept to it. And the reason is that the perspective on this end, from what happens than the John Carpenter one, is that the alien is a vegetable hybrid. Yes, that's right. It is a carrot monster. No, it's basically James Arness in this makeup, and as tall as he is, if you've never seen him on there, he happens to be a very tall guy. To see him, you know, be this monster in this series, and just to come up every once in a while, and you don't get to see it, but you hear about it, is that he drinks blood. So that's a bit of a more horrifying thing. That it's like vampirical plant monster from outer space who's trying to replicate himself. But that's what made it good. I mean, because also it was black and white, dark. The way it was done, it was in a dark lens when they put it on there. So there's not so much lighting on there, and that's such a good movie. But that's been coming on a couple of times. I would have loved to have seen, a Howling marathon. I've seen Howling 2, Howling 3 and 4, especially 2. 2's been shown a lot, and I think it's because of Sybil Danning. Now, I'm going to tell you straight this out. If you're watching it on movies or one of the Comet or one of the regular TVs, which they're good channels and stuff like that, they do edit the ending. When the movie ends, it goes into a credit run with the band that was singing through segments of the movie, and then you see segments of the movie itself in there. The cut version basically is it fades to black and the credits rolls over. Now, the reason why, and this is the most hysterical thing, and I think Tubi TV has it. The funniest thing is if you watch the ending of The Howling, there's segments, and I don't know what the editor was thinking of. He must have been in love with Sybil Danning, because he had her strip her top off multiple times. It was like it was the same scene where she just strips her top off, and she just it'll switch to another scene, and then it'll switch back, and you'll see her stripping it off again. And another scene go by, she strips it off again, or it goes into like a multiple clicks, strip. It's like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? You don't get to see that in the TV version. Sci-Fi Channel will blot that out. A couple of the other channels, like I said, Comet. I think movies will do that as well. It's just the craziest thing that you would see when you watch a movie like that. And the thing about it is, it's Sybil Danning and Christopher Lee in the same movie. You know, that in itself, it's really, really funny that you would see that. I mean, you know, me and my wife, we would joke around and go Steelba, because that was the name of the werewolf. Was Sybil Danning's werewolf was named Stilba, and just the way Christopher Lee just put it out, he goes, where is Steelba? You know, it's just really, really funny. But like I said, they should have done like a Howling on there, because they do this year to year. I mean, I was surprised they showed Jason 10 last night. That's a rare one on there, because you know, people like to say, nah, Jason didn't go to space. He came back and he freaking fought Freddy Krueger. But you know, that was kind of a wild thought to have Jason Voorhees fighting in space. I mean, that's about as funny as a leprechaun in space. That's what they should do. They should do a bunch of the movies together that, you know, like say Leprechaun in Space, Jason 10, Critters in Space, you know, anything that, you know, Dracula, there's a Dracula one, or they go to space. Put all of those like in a marathon. Give it some crazy name. Is that Evil goes to space, or something of that nature. You know, just put out the craziest movies that you could find that it was a series of movies and they took it to space. Because that would be interesting. But that would be a good idea. The Vincent Price ones, like I said, were very, very good. The Blob, I did like that they did both Blobs. One of the other things I did on there, they did the Hammer films, and they should do those more often, because there's a lot of people in this generation doesn't realize that as good as Bela Lugosi and some of the other actors that have played the Count Dracula, no one has really ever played him like Christopher Lee. And Christopher Lee has been fantastic because he played it from the books themselves. He would not take a vampire movie on unless if it was from the books themselves directly. And you see it in the role. So, I mean, there was one movie he didn't like the script at all. And the only reason he did it was basically so people wouldn't lose their jobs, but he still gave a great performance. You know, and you gotta love the Hammer films. You know, not the new stuff that they put out recently. It's like, oh my God. Ooh, you know, you're kind of missing the writers from that era. You know, we need true horror writers like those people from that era. Even if some of the stuff sounds ridiculous. You know, and it's, you know, we need that back, because Hammer made some great stuff. I mean, even the Frankenstein stuff was phenomenal. You know, you had the Frankenstein one, and then you had the in-between movies and stuff like that. I know they went a little far when they did the seven Golden Vampires movie. With, you know, they had that deal with Shaw Brothers, and you know, I enjoyed that. If you haven't seen that, it was an attempt to try to bridge a gap between Japan. You know, the martial art world by doing Shaw Brothers, Hong Kong Shaw Brothers, and bring that into the fold, into the Hammer film, using the Dracula legend in there. That Dracula leaves Transylvania to look for the 7 golden vampires. But unfortunately, Christopher Lee was not available for this movie, so they had somebody else do it. But Peter Cushing was available, so this one is worth seeing. You know, Peter Cushing is playing Von Helsing in this, and the script kind of gets a little crazy because when you go from the original movies of the Dracula, it's like, well, wait a minute, if he's here, then what the hell happened in the last movie? Because you look at the dates that come up on there, it just doesn't correspond with the previous films and the previous actions that he was doing, that Von Helsing was doing. But hey, listen, karate with vampires, you know, that's the same. Kung Fu Fights Back from the Grave. That's another one that just is crazy. That one, you have zombies and vampires and stuff like that fighting each other using martial arts, and that's funny. That's really funny. And you got magic also involved, wizardry, you know, and witchcraft. But that's another thing. They should be. That's another thing that somebody should think of, is to pull some of the stuff from Asia and Bali and you know, India, stuff like that, and show those on a night. Because there's some crazy ones out there. There, you know, and one thing about, you know, in Asia, and I'm not talking about Hong Kong, Japan, or China. I'm talking in the Bali world and stuff like that, and Bollywood and stuff. There's some, or even going over in Thailand, there's some crazy horror films that, oh God, what the hell was the name of that movie? There's one where the girl, I think she's trying to be a witch or something, and you know, she meets up with the ghost of the witch that, you know, is going to give her the power, whatever it is, and you know, she starts to fly around. You know, her head detaches from her body with pieces of her heart, her lung, or whatever, you know, it's her innards, and they're flying around flying around the forest. And I think the most traumatic part of it was that she's sitting there and she's sucking out I think a fetus out of a woman. You know, it's like, oh, you know, you go sit there. Oh, and there you go. You have some horror. You got some horror. But like I said, this year, I mean, the only good thing come out this year is that with the changes with the Simpsons, you got to see a lot more of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, because you had two channels running it. You had FXX and Freeform, which are now, you know, the same company that Disney, and you got to see that. All right, but let's. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to sit here. Unfortunately, we can't show you the screen because we probably get clipped. Let's see, for example, what is being run tonight. Now, I have Silence of the Lambs on, and oh, it wasn't BBC, it was Paramount that was playing that. And let's see what else they're doing. They're doing, of course, obviously, Dawn of the Dead. That's another one that hasn't been shown much. Not this version, the original Dawn of the Dead. The one that I love. The one that gave me the creeps. It was really the deaths and stuff like that on there. You can watch it. I think YouTube, someone still has it on YouTube. You can watch it there. But that is a good one. In fact, I'm told, let me just grab a little sip here. I'm told the original mall is still around, and they do Dawn of the Dead tour. I mean, there's not much left because basically the skating rink is gone and some of the other things are gone. But there are some segments where, you know, the elevator still exists and some of the back rooms are still there. So you get it. They do it, like, I think annually, and basically, you know, people flock to it. It's a big festival. It's a big time festival. But yeah, the Dawn of the Dead, the original, they don't do it. Oh, look at that Beetlejuice. Jeez. Why would you put Beetlejuice in there? Okay, Goonies at 1 a.m. This is all on the Paramount Network. Okay, let's see. FX is doing Get Out, but because they have Mr. In Between on there, but not much on their channel. Oh yeah, there is a Supernatural marathon going on. since it's the last season on that, and that's on TNT, so that's running all day. Let's go to the important one. Movies. If you don't have this channel, look for it. If you don't see it on your cable system, it's literally movies with a exclamation point on it. It's normally in the digital lineup. If you have Get TV, definitely Ion Plus, you'll see this channel. But if you don't, use your aerial. You'll be able to pick it up. It's one of those free channels that you can get. Let's see, Night of the Living Dead. See, here we go. Curse of Frankenstein, because they were the ones running on that. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Revenge of Frankenstein, which doesn't have Christopher Lee, but it is Peter Cushing. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. The Horror of Dracula. Horror of Dracula is the one you got to see. And that is the really, really good one. And I'll tell you, there is one. I forgot the name of the actress. But one of the actresses, when they told her, when you enter the room, after being missing for a little bit, your expression should look like you've had the best sex in your entire life. And that's what she looked like. She was like, hi. And it's like, oh, hi, honey. It's like, wow. Because she was bitten because the scene is that she's bitten by Dracula at this point. And basically, she returns and she's got a coat on and everything. And, she just looks like she is really, really happy. And I think Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. That one's an okay one. That's one of the only ones. That one you should catch too, and I'll tell you why. It is not the greatest one of all the Christopher Lee. Peter Cushing is not in it. There is no Van Helsing in this one. The one I believe that this is it, is that the main antagonist, is an atheist. So how do you defeat Dracula not using the cross or stuff like that, because you don't believe in God? So it's a very interesting concept that they tried to do. I mean, the movie was successful. It made some money. They're doing Dracula in 1972, which is also not a great one. Peter Cushing comes back on that one. Yeah, that takes us all into the morning. Back it up a little bit here. Like, we have Comet TV in this area also. Let's see. Let's see what we got this evening. From Beyond. That's with Jeffrey Combs. That one is how can I say, it's a very unusual one. And that one, the only way to explain is to watch it itself. It is it's an H.P. Lovecraft. It is a good concept, but execution was okay. But I think they went a little far on certain things. Scarecrow. Why do they keep always playing Scarecrow? Amityville 2, the Procession. This is the one, they don't even play this too much. And I think it's because of the insinuation of incest in this movie. Because they're basically, this is supposed to be before Amityville 1. And it's supposed to be the spirit that's lingering in the house in Amityville 1. It comes there in Amityville 2. It's a whole crazy thing. Burt Young's in it, James Olsen. But there is a segment in there because it's the brother and sister. And it's the brother that gets taken over by some evil spirit. And basically, he starts to, as they say, start a porn movie in a way. No, he doesn't use cameras or anything like that. but he starts feeling up on his sister, and it's played by the girl who's if I'm not mistaken, it's the girl that was in the Last American Virgin. Which, if you've never seen Last American Virgin, don't. It's a horrible movie. Let's see. Amityville 3D, Tony Roberts. That one's a good joke. Just to watch a movie with a horror film with Tony Roberts on there. Hey, there you go. Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf. Let me tell you, and we discussed this before about the movie premise and stuff. And like I said, this version will not have that ending, and I guarantee it. But I love that they put in your sister's a werewolf. When I was first starting in the duplication business, the movie was just called Howling 2. They added your sister's a werewolf a little time later on that. The original Night of the Living Dead, obviously. Let's see what else is interesting to this evening on most of the systems. That was Comet. If you don't have Comet TV in your system, on your cable system, contact your cable system. Tell them to get it. But you can watch it online. They do what they call it, broadcast online, so you'll be able to watch it there. But they don't stay open all night. So basically, I think tonight this is going to be one of the nights they're going to run movies all night. Of course, Lifetime, which is like every other movie. Ooh, Craft. The Craft is going to be on Lifetime. Someone was making a joke. Oh, wait, it's a Craft marathon? Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, Lifetime Movies is doing, starting at 4 p.m., a marathon of The Craft. They will be playing it straight through until the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Considering that another channel is doing, what is it? What the hell's the name of that witch movie? That they're doing a marathon of that witches, the 3 witches. When I find it, I'll see it on there. But continuing on, let's see. Sci-Fi Channel, Grave Halloween. I Know What You Did Last Summer. See, that's where they guys start playing those. The other one is the I can't even think of the name on that. That basically. You tell tales and stuff like that, and basically oh God, let me look it up. Hold on a second, folks. Oh, okay, I couldn't think of it. Well, I'll try to think of it in the next episode. I was like, I just couldn't. Like I said, my mind is off kiltered. Jeepers Creepers 3. What happened to 4? I know they were supposed to do a 4. I have not seen it anywhere yet. Are they doing it? Are they not? Let's see what happens. Then, of course, let's see. Wow, Tyler Perry's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel. Boo, but Medea. Nothing against Medea. They do a couple of good movies on there. But being on the Sci-Fi Channel, I kind of would expect it on like off Freeform or something like that. Let's see. Annabelle the Creation. And Laurie Cohen and The Boy. That one's a little predictable for me. 1408. And then Twilight Zone and Van Helsing. Let's see. What else is going on? Thank you for staying with me. We're just doing this. And having a little fun on this. Maybe it'll be something when you watch this tonight. You'll be able to see. I'm giving you the latter moments of there. Coming in during prime time period. Let's see. That's not a horror film. Let's see, Ghost Ship. Is that a remake of the original one with I don't know. I've never seen this one with Juliana Marquez. There is an old one where a passenger ship gets smashed on by another ship, and the survivors ended up on board, and the ship is like haunted, and it was, I think, German crew, and basically, you know, some of the people start dying, and some weird things start to happen. The captain goes mad. He thinks he's the commanding officer of the ship. Starts putting on the clothes of the commanding officer and stuff like that. It's a weird one. I know it's not this one. 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts is okay. I'm told, I think the daughter of the original creator of that, basically she was involved with that. And I'm trying to pull her up here. There we go. Because that's William Castle. And William Castle, if you've never seen any of his movies, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, of course they're going to be doing that tonight. And rounding it off, Doctor Who. William Castle made some great movies in the past. They considered him sort of a Ringling Brothers, a Barnum of the horror industry, of the horror movie industry. And the reason is that he used to throw gimmicks in his movies. When he did 13 Ghosts, the original 13 Ghosts, they did a filter. It was like almost wearing 3D glasses in a way. They gave you a pop filter, which one was red, one was blue. Now, the difference was that to see the ghost, you had to hold up the filter and the red, and you would see them. But if you didn't want to see them, you put the blue. If you would, you wanted to chicken out or anything of that nature. And well, you don't have to do it now. In the prints that they've released now, you don't need to do that. You don't need that pop filter. You get to see the ghost no matter what. And I'm told the 13 Ghosts that they did in this one is a real true homage to the original 13 Ghosts. Because they had some, I know they had some fun on that. There were some other movies like The Tingler, which they shocked people's chairs. Then there was Dr. Zardonicus, and I may have talked about that, touch base with about his movie. I didn't see this year. I'm surprised I didn't see that. That's a great William Castle one. Dr. Zardonicus, it is a great movie, great concept. I'm surprised that's one they have not. Let's just, if I could spell. There we go. That's one that basically it should have been, remade, because it is one of those movies that it's really, really good. It stars the great Guy Rawlf. If you've not seen Guy Rawlf in any of the current movies, the Puppet Master series, or in the Dolls movie, which is a great movie also too, Dolls, he's in that too. Zardonicus is basically the gimmick was that basically you get to choose his fate at the end of the movie, and that's pretty much interesting on that, considering that what the guy did and all. He literally was a ghoul, and the whole premise was when he was younger, his father died with a lottery ticket in his pocket, and he had to go dig him up to get that lottery ticket because he would be very rich. And what happened was his face, he saw his father's face, and just literally it shocked him. And it like left him in a wide, scary, unusual smile and face. Go forward years later. The woman that he's married to has used to have a former. She used to have a former lover who's a doctor in England, and they convinced him to come there to try to basically try to heal him. And that's the whole premise of the movie. Not to give too much away on it. It is well worth it. It's 61, and it is based on a book series on there, but it is really, 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 really good, and it's well worth it. And of course, we come across here. It's like Pop TV's got the Twilight Saga going on. Let's see, Saga Eclipse. Yeah, we know we don't want that. Hocus Pocus. That's what it was. Freeform is doing a marathon of Hocus Pocus tonight. A long, long one on there. So that's going to be on all night. AMC is doing a Halloween marathon, which we knew that was happening. Let's see here. Oh, here's a weird one. Let's see. Where does it start at? Friday the 13th will be on tonight on IFC. And Trick or Treat. That's a good movie. I was hoping they were going to do a second movie. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. You know, I guess we're going to wait a long time for the second movie. You know, just like the first, because this is such a great, great movie. It's an anthology series on there. Anna Paquin, Brian Cox, Dylan Baker. You know, I loved all the stories that was in there, especially the last one. You know, with the pumpkin kid, the Halloween kid, or the spirit of Halloween, however you want to put it. And that's a good way to get through the night, is to watch that. HD movies, Seventh Sign, 30 Days of Night, that's okay. The Messengers, no. I Spit on Your Grave, that's the newer version. They don't play the original, which was banned in several countries. And these were banned in several countries, I was told, as well. Yeah, The Ruins, The Believers. There you go. If you're up at 3:55 in the morning on HDNet, there's a crazy movie. My mother does not like to watch this, okay? Spanish people stay away from this movie. I'll tell you why. Those of the old school. The Believers is based on Santeria. And it's with Martin Sheen, Helen Shaver. There is someone going around killing children and killing people on there. And Martin Sheen works for the cops as, I guess, a psychiatrist or something like that. And he gets involved in this whole situation dealing with the Santeria treatments. Now they're talking about the both versions, the one from Africa and the ones that came over into in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and all the Spanish countries as well, because you had a lot of the African slaves come into those countries as well. And it gets really wild if you haven't caught this yet. I mean, there's one part where not to give anything away, there's something inside Jimmy Smith's stomach when they do the autopsy. He's a complete freak out. Yeah, Jimmy Smith is in this movie. Really, really good. He plays a cop. I think that's about it, because basically They keep playing The Shivering Truth on Cartoon Network, and that's like really weird. But there's not much going on that channel. And then, of course, you have the regular movie channels on there. We're not going to go through those. So comment below. Let me know on there, you know, how you guys feel about this. And wait, is that the original? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. If you have a channel called Retroplex, they have the original 1971 version of the Andromeda Strain on tonight at 11:55. If you've never seen that before, that's a good flick. Yeah, so comment below. Thank you very much for being there for us. There won't be an American Asylum this week. Man with the Show hopefully will be back. I'll be going to see a couple of doctors next week, so it'll be hard for me to do some stuff. I'm going to try to tape some stuff early, see how I'm feeling. I mean, right now, I feel like I'm about to pass out again. No, I'm fine. I'm fine, folks. Don't worry about it. You know, but it just basically, I've just been very, very, this virus has gotten me very, very tired on there. And the doc says, yeah, you hit, you know, as you get older, these colds, these viruses, you know, I took my first flu shot at the beginning of this year. My first time. I've never taken it before because I never generally get the flu that often. So I said, why do I need to get it? But my cousin, the doctor, said, you got to start taking it. You know, you're over your 50s, and, you know, your immune system is not as strong as it used to be. So you always got to listen to the doctor in the family, because they're always going to know better. And we went along today. So hopefully you get through this. We may separate this up, but hang in there. Thank you for tuning in to this Halloween Man with the Show on Q2Cast TV. Like I said, keep tuning in. Hopefully we'll be back up and running right at, you know, as soon as I find out what the hell I have. But I know I got doctor's appointments next week. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday, you'll see something in the lineup. Like I said, we do apologize for that. So stay tuned. Hang in there, please. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye now.